Weather Day.
Wow, check that out. Severe thunderstorms are moving across the southeast, bringing a threat of tornadoes and large hail. This is a possible tornado caught on camera just this afternoon in Cordele, Crisp County, Georgia.
Well, we've been watching the weather. It's a first alert weather day. We've been seeing things change as we've moved throughout the afternoon hours. We do want to check in for team coverage here on this first alert day. Let's start out with meteorologist Jamie Erb.
Right now, big picture shows that we have that area of strong storms back to the west of us, and it is impacting as cities as close as Vidalia. So let's take all the radar off and show you the alerts. We are under a tornado watch for most of the viewing area, but there is a tornado warning for Trutland County, and there is evidence of a tornado touching down near the city of Lowry. This tornado warning goes until 4:30, and the Severe Weather Prediction Center believes that it's going to travel into Candler County. Will it be a tornado warning once it hits the county line? It may be a severe thunderstorm warning at that point. We are continuing to watch this, and we'll put a radar loop on this particular storm and watch how it just explodes out of Eastman. We were watching it maybe impact Dublin, but it's curving a little bit to the right and to the south. So we're expecting it to impact portions of Emmanuel County, maybe even northern Toombs, Tatnall, but definitely it's heading toward Candler County. So that's your first alert right now. We are continuing to watch showers develop ahead of the main line, and we've got some showers and a storm just south of Townsend, and that's going to move toward Townsend, cross I-95, and then generally filter out into the Atlantic. But that's possible all over the coastal empire and low country, where we could see storms pop, develop, and then drop a hell lot of rain, lightning, and become severe. But this is the one we're watching right now. And the Storm Prediction Center earlier on, I'm sure you've seen this on your Facebook, Twitter feeds, Statesboro back to Vidalia, Baxley, Swainsboro, McRae down to Douglas. This is the highest that you can get. Let me take my banner off here. The highest threat that we can be under, an unprecedented event. So, John Weatherby, what does it all mean?
Well, let me show you the different colors and what it all means. And that's all put together very quickly by the different levels of intensity. The bar all the way to the right is where we are now. That's the high level of intensity. You've often seen us talk regional margin level 1, level 2. You can see all of them there up to 5. Then you're now getting to a point where we're expecting widespread severe thunderstorms to developing and the threat of long-range tornadoes as well. That's where we are right now. And with that high threat, we're already seeing the cell that's approaching Candler County. Let's remind you some tornado safety tips. Don't wait. If there's a tornado warning, seek shelter immediately in your safe spot. Put as many walls between you and the storm on the outside. That's always a good idea. Protect yourself from flying debris, walls, pillows. Bicycle helmets are also often encouraged, and continue to have a way to get severe information. By the way, make sure all your devices are charged. Get your First Alert app turned on and turn on the alert sound so you hear what's going on as this First Alert day is continuing. But our concern continues out in Candler County. Cutter Martin is right now tracking the storms. Last I heard, he was at Highway 23 and I-16 watching what was approaching from the west. That very cell Jamie was talking about. Cutter, what's the very latest there?
Yeah, we're live at the WTOC Jamie Casino traffic tracker, actually just off of the Brooklet area on the west side of Brooklet, looking north and west. If you can see that video, towards central Bullitt County, towards the city of Statesboro. We are obviously well removed from the center of the severe weather, but we're watching that Trutland County storm, Soperton storm, earlier had a confirmed tornado on it. We are within view of that. Not seeing anything at this time severe. We're several miles out. We're tracking it. These dangerous storms are headed east, though, towards Bullitt County. We'll be in the Statesboro, Bullitt County area here for the next couple of hours, tracking that storm eastward into the city, into the county. We will, of course, relay back what we see, but right now we're okay. We're watching these severe storms approach from the east, moving into an environment that will be favorable for more severe thunderstorms and the possibility of tornadoes here as we head deeper into the evening.
All right, thank you, Cutter. And widespread serious thunderstorms actually started earlier today across much of Alabama. And in Georgia and into South Carolina. This is some new video of the storms moving in from across the region. And this is what is heading our way. There you can see in Henry County, Alabama, some of the destruction done from those storms in Richmond County up by Augusta as well. In Georgia, you can see some of the darker clouds as they're making their way in where the Masters is being played. Severe weather becoming a big problem for thousands of people who traveled near and far to witness the Masters golf tournament in Augusta.
Our Christina Tuso joins us now live outside Augusta National, where people have had to be evacuated during today's practice rounds. Christina?
Guys, I think that we have a very good chance that things are going to start to heat up here once again. It was at about 1:25 this afternoon that the Augusta National evacuated for the second time today. They decided at that point they were going to suspend play altogether, which means for the first time in history, the par 3 contest, which is a fan favorite around here, was canceled. I believe that we have some video. You may have already showed it already. This was shot by our crew just hours ago. The course being evacuated, this ominous wall of clouds moved in over the Augusta area. That's when things really got real around here. Thousands of people from near and far were forced to evacuate the Augusta National. You can imagine the heartache here. They only got to spend a short time in the course today. Some of these people traveling from across the country and internationally to witness the Masters practice rounds. They were sent home early, but it was only because of their own safety. As far as tomorrow is concerned, we do believe that we're going to get a serious reprieve in the weather, except for we are expecting some serious wind gusts, perhaps in the mid-30s. Just spoke to Jamie Ertl before we went on air. She said that we could be considering a possible wind advisory for tomorrow. So very quiet course here in Augusta. The rain is still coming down, and I have a feeling that we're in store for another pretty big hit here at the Augusta National. For now, we are live in Augusta. Christina Tuso, WTOC News.
Well, be sure to tune in to WTOC tonight for our special from the Masters Around the Green, live from Augusta. That'll be airing at 7:30 tonight.
Our Elizabeth Rollins continues our live team coverage now, and she is in downtown Savannah at the Chatham Emergency Management Agency headquarters, which is on Bull Street.
Elizabeth, SEMA has activated their Emergency Operations Center.
Yeah, guys, they're actually operating at a level 3 right now. Behind me, you can see crews are actively monitoring the storm. They've been here all day. The director tells me they could upgrade that to a level 2 if they start to get some damage, but right now we're at a level 3, which is the lowest level. Officials have been tracking and monitoring these storms. They plan to have people throughout the night and into the early morning hours as well. I'm told we have 62 tornado sirens in Chatham County. Those sirens were actually scheduled for a monthly test today, but that test was canceled to eliminate any confusion, which means if you hear those sirens, it's not a drill. You need to find cover, and please be safe out there. We'll be out here all night, keeping you updated here from SEMA headquarters. We're live in downtown Savannah. Elizabeth Rollins, WTOC News.
And we want to make sure you're prepared for the storm. John was telling us earlier, make sure those devices are charged, your phone, your iPad, whatever you use. And that is good as well, because you can have multiple sources to get that weather information to alert you and your family when severe weather threatens, like the free WTOC weather app. This is a live look at it. If you haven't already, you can download it now. Again, it's free. You can turn on the alerts and make sure that everything is charged up. We'll bring you live team coverage here on TV, plus online at WTOC.com and on mobile as this threat continues.
And we really can't stress enough the importance of having that weather radio. That way, if you're sleeping when severe weather rolls in, you will be alerted. The radios provide information directly from the National Weather Service and operate on battery power, so you can still get alerts if the electricity goes out. If you already own a weather radio, make sure to check those batteries and that it's working properly.
Well, right now, Georgia Power is getting ready to respond to service interruptions out there from this severe weather. And Georgia Power, they do have some outages over towards the Atlanta area. The company has some tips for you as well. They say you should turn off air conditioners, avoid landline telephones, and unplug unnecessary electrical appliances. Never touch any downed wire or low-hanging wire. Never pull tree limbs off of power lines yourself. And never, ever go into areas with debris or downed trees. Downed power lines may be buried in all of that debris.
Well, out in Statesboro, classes and events at Georgia Southern University have been canceled. The campus closed at about 2 o'clock this afternoon due to the threat of severe weather. Several other schools in our area dismissed early as well. Many after-school activities in our area have been canceled, many meetings. This is a live look at our website, WTOC.com. We have a list of closures right there on the homepage. You can see it in the bright red banner at the top. Now let's go ahead and turn our attention to South Carolina. Severe storms sweeping across the state. The threat of damage from high winds and possible tornadoes continues. Our Ashley Holland is live from the state's Emergency Management Division in West Columbia. And Ashley, what are you seeing out there now?
From where I'm standing here in West Columbia, I'll tell you the rain has certainly tapered off. It's let up from what we've seen about an hour ago. Right here where I'm standing, we are out of tornado warning, but in other places of the state, there's sure still the warning, like in Orangeburg, and then there are severe thunderstorm warnings in other places of the state. I'll step out of the way. You can take a look out there. Looks like rain coming in sideways. There are flags billowing in the wind. I'll let you know that driving over here, though, it was a different sight. There was gray sky, the rain really coming down. We were at that point in a tornado warning, and that's when emergency management officials want people to know, try not to be on the roads and try to be in the centermost place of your home, to be ready to take shelter and to take that warning seriously when officials advise people to go ahead and do that. They say that there are storms that continue to come in, that we're not out of the woods here yet. Things could change as certain storm cells continue to move through. So they have other advice that they really want people to be able to heed if things begin to get nasty out here yet again. Take a listen.
When there's a tornado warning in your area, very important to do certain things. Number one, go to the centermost interior room on the lowest level of the building that you're in, whether it's a central hallway, a closet, a bathroom, sometimes a closet under the stairs, and you stay there essentially and ride it out until the storm or the danger is over. If you are in a mobile home and there's a tornado warning in your area, leave that mobile home immediately. That does not offer any sort of protection against a tornado.
Those emergency management crews advise for anyone who is trying to take shelter from a tornado in a mobile home not to do that, to leave their mobile homes, to get to a sturdy building, some place like a community center, or even to duck into a gas station if the time calls for it. And if anyone is out on the road, they encourage them not to try to outrun any kind of storm, a tornado, or cyclical clouds. They say at that point you should get out of the car, try to find a sturdy building, or even find a ditch and lie flat in the ditch to just cover your head and face to try to wait out the storm and wait till the danger's over. Watch out for debris at that point. But here in Columbia, outside of Columbia, in West Columbia, there have certainly been a lot of school closings, offices closing early. The University of South Carolina closed down today at about 1 o'clock. They want people to get off the roads, to get safely into their homes or just out of harm's way in case these storms really ramp up here some more in just a few hours. Guys, back to you.
Well, we've seen a lot of places close down early because of the storms coming in and out at the beach. People being urged to be safe as the storm moves in. We'll have a live report from Tybee Island coming up.
And a look at how the weather is impacting flights.
And right now, we do have an updated thunderstorm warning for Coffee, Jeff Davis County, and portions of Montgomery County. The very latest, and I'm sure this will change within our commercial break right after the break.
Well, the storm's moving through the southeast, leaving nearly 55 million people at risk of tornadoes, damaging winds and thunderstorms.
All of this, of course, means flight delays, and a lot of them. Let's take a look at some time-lapse video of storms moving in at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. You see those really dark skies there. And the weather is causing delays in Atlanta, Charlotte, LaGuardia, so please check your flight status with your airline before you head out.
Well, we do want to give you a live look checking out Tybee Island, seeing the beach. If we could, Artasia Reed, she is out there live as we can check out the pier and pavilion from our vantage point. And we want to know, what are they saying to people out there staying safe out on the island?
Well, officials out here tell me the biggest thing is just to prepare and be aware that there is a storm coming. I've seen plenty of people still walking down to the beach as of about 5 minutes ago. So it's all about being aware, knowing that there is coming, having that weather app, the WTVM weather app, so WTOC weather app, so you know exactly what's going on. Now, he also says there are plenty of people out here who are recovering from Hurricane Matthew. So still people who are not in their homes, insurance, different things. So that is the big thing that they're worrying about out here as well. Now, also, I talked with the Tyree Fire Chief. It's also important to note that the lifeguards are not out here. They will not be out here until next week. So be aware if you're going in the water to be aware that you have to swim at your own risk, that there may be some rip tides or rip currents. So you also want to be very, very aware of that. Now, it's very windy out here. I've been out here all day. It was sunny earlier. Now the clouds have kind of rolled in, and no rain at this point just now, but definitely very windy. Now, as like I said, I talked with the Tybee Fire Chief. Hear what he has to say coming up later on the news about protecting your neighbors and being aware of your surroundings. For now, I'm live on Tybee Island. Tasha Reed, WTOC News.
All right, thank you, Tasia. And of course, we are keeping a track on your forecast. We are looking. Look at that. You can see that bad weather moving in from our downtown Savannah sky cam. You can see the darker clouds. We're going to have what's in store coming up in your first alert forecast next. Stay with us.
First Alert Chief Meteorologist John Weatherby. As anticipated, that rotation that was working through northern Candler County has now generated a tornado warning that is in effect until 5:30 for portions of Candler, northern Bullock County, portions of Screven County, and southern Jenkins County. Again, this is a tornado warning in effect until 5:30. 1-inch hail has already been reported with this particular cell, 65-mile-an-hour winds, and it's racing to the east-northeast at about 55 miles an hour. Cutter Martin, I believe, is at the site of the tornado or the tornado warning, and perhaps will join us. Let me know when he's available. He's ready? Cutter, let's get out to you right away. Tell me what you see.
Yeah, we are in Portal right now, and if you can take our live video, we are looking just south of due west at the tornado-warned storm. We're still a few miles out right now. If you can see on the video there, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. I do not see a lowering. I do not see a funnel at this time, but it is likely obscured by rain. So what I want you to notice, and if we can pan this camera to the right, producers, if you can hear me, panning this camera to the right, there definitely is a bit of a notch, and what that tells me, there's a lot of circulation with this storm. The storm definitely is rotating tightly, whether it is producing a tornado at this moment or not. But again, to remind everybody in Portal, everyone in Rocky Ford, everyone in northwestern Bullock County, you need to be in your safe spot now. Again, we are safe here in the WTOC Jamie Casino traffic tracker, tracking this tornado-warned storm as it approaches my location. Again, I do not have a sighting on anything, but the unfortunate problem with today is there's a lot of haze out here. We also have a lot of rain, possibly a lot of hail, obscuring any view of the actual tornado or possible tornado within this storm. But again, we are live in Portal, looking to the just south of west. We'll update it as this storm moves in, and we'll let you know if we have any new information, any new sightings of what may be going on.
Information, Cutter. Thank you very much. And that was a mid-level rotation, rain-wrapped earlier, but now on our first alert radar, while everything is quiet as you get toward I-95, look at the latest radar picture and you can get a sense of where that rotation is, and right in there is where we were seeing some earlier indications that there could be some things going on. So let's see if we can get some information put up here real quickly. I'll step to the other side and that'll help me to get this done. From our camera angle, we can get a way to zoom in very quickly to these sites, and it's not going to let me do that. So for the moment, let me track this off, and it's continuing to track, and even the tracking will not help me there. So we'll take a look at this very quickly. Jamie, could you see if maybe it's not in the play mode, and that's the reason that none of this is happening, because we kind of came back quite quickly here. And there we go. Now we're back into the first alert weather day, which is continuing, but now here's this tornado warning that continues in effect until 5:30, as we showed you. Here is the storm tracker, which is indicating the rotation rotation. Again, it's mid to upper level rotation. We had earlier a debris signature that we saw, but this is moving off pretty quickly toward the Statesboro area. And back from this angle, let's see if I can also get some more information up here for you. And there we go. And what we want to do is try to zoom in just a little bit so I can show you where Nunez is and where Portal is. Hope you like it. Give you a sense of where this may be heading very shortly. Twin City is already getting some of this activity down to Metter. It's headed toward the Pulaski area. Look at Statesboro, not too far away. So as we track this particular cell, I want to get a cone on here so I can give you a sense of where this might be headed. And if I can draw it right this way, look at that. All the way out past Hope You Like It and Portal, Register, look at Statesboro. 5:20 would be about the time that we would expect that to head in your direction. Again, the wraparound is what we're seeing. That's generating some locally heavy rainfall and incredibly gusty winds. Hail has been reported with this cell already, and the lightning that we're seeing from this particular cell and these bands of cells that are continuing to push farther and farther to the south. Again, a tornado warning has been issued for portions of Bullock, Screven, portions of Jenkins, and for Candler County. This is in effect until 5:30. Now's the time for you to seek your safe spot. Make sure you take your phone along, your free WTOC weather app, so you'll have the ability to keep track of what this particular cell is doing as it's headed toward the Statesboro area. There are other cells farther to the south and west. They're not as organized as this one. Notice how it's jumped out kind of ahead of the rest of the line. It's filling in behind it. And when you see that, that kind of gives you an indication there's a strong push in the mid to upper levels. There's certainly enough instability in place to promote even more dangerous thunderstorms developing with more tornadoes possible. But again, this particular cell tracking off to the east, headed toward the Ridgeland area. If it holds this straight line, Savannah would arrive about 6:16. That's important to note because as the storm diminishes, it will tend to turn to the right or turn more southward and could pick up more of Effingham County with some damaging winds, even down to the Savannah area. So even if you're in coastal areas, you're thinking, this is not a big deal. Everybody's under a tornado watch until 11 o'clock this evening with these particular cells. And again, with all the lightning that's been indicated with these cells, it looks like they're really holding together. The upper level structure of these storms is certainly promoting that, and so that's why we have the tornado warning again in effect until 5:30 this afternoon for Candler, for Jenkins, for Bullock, and for Screven County. You need to seek your safe spot now. Let's take a look again at this particular cell, which is currently under warning. It has the classic signature. It has the opportunity that looks like for it clearly to be able to create some areas where we could see some storms. Let me see if I can get this over to the velocity real quickly. There you go. And from the Charleston velocity, I want you to look anytime the red and green are next to each other. Look at that broad area of rotation. We've seen that with upper levels of rotation. We've seen that being a big problem as we've gone through the last couple of days. Let's zoom in real quickly one more time, and I'll give you a sense of how this area is really just east of Twin City. This is headed toward the Portal area. Here's Hope You Like It. Look at all of town back over here. Still more, it's probably north of you, but you're seeing quite a bit of rain, and this circulation's going in here. This would be the place where we could possibly be seeing a tornado on the ground. And the lightning that we're seeing is certainly indicating there's lots of energy there with the tornado warnings that are in place until 5:30. Again, it's Bullock, Candler, portions of Screven, portions of Jenkins County. If you're in northern Bullock County, for example, you need to get to your safe spot now. That's an interior portion of your home. As many walls away from the storm as possible. That's always a key. Make sure you've got protection for your head. Lots of times we suggest folks put bicycle helmets on if they happen to own a helmet, or a motorcycle helmet. Also, make sure you've got shoes on your feet. If there's debris that you have to walk through after the storm has gone through, you don't want to be walking around in slippers or socks or with no shoes on at all. So these are all preparations you need to take as this tornado warning continues and continues to move off to the east. Statesboro, Sylvania, Shawnee, Springfield in Effingham County, Rincon, all are online here if this holds together, and it certainly looks like it's going to continue to hold together. There are other cells we need to report on as well. If you follow this lightning all the way down toward the Baxley area, we're starting to see quite a bit of activity there. In fact, I'll try to move the map just a bit and give you a little better sight as what that looks like. If you're south of I-16 right now, most of the activity is really focused from Baxley back to Fitzgerald. Got a couple of cells here near Waycross, for example. Look at the lightning that's just started to develop over Shellman Bluff. There's an individual cell. That could be a problem later on. Around the Savannah area, we're in pretty good shape. No, it's this one cell that's working its way into Bullock County now. Just about out of the Candler County area. We're starting to lose some of the red. It gives an indication it's starting to weaken, and that's not surprising at all as it continues to weaken or moves into a little more stable air. But again, real clearly, we can see the loop in the clouds and the loop in the radar. Cutter Martin's out in the field. He's storm tracking for WTOC. What have you got now, Cutter?
Yeah, we are still live here near Portal, and not too much of a change in the situation. If we could pan the camera to the left, we'll get a view of what we're about to be impacted by. Again, we are just to the south and east of that possible tornado in the vicinity of Rocky Ford, or just to the south and west of that location. And if we could, again, pan the camera back to the left, we're on the southern side of this area of possible tornadic activity. What's going to happen here over the next 15 to 20 minutes is we're going to be hit in Portal by RFD, the rear flank downdraft, the bottom side of that circulation. So we're talking hail, very extreme winds here, 60 to 70 miles per hour possible, and heavy rain. So notice on the camera, the video outside, you can see those lowerings, what we call a scud, and then just below that we have a solid shield of what looks like white. That's rain, that's hail, and those are damaging straight-line wind gusts now moving into northwestern Bullock County. Again, we're probably only about 5 to 10 minutes from being impacted by this. I'll holler back and give you the latest information about what we're seeing coming up here live from the WTOC Jamie Casino Traffic Tracker.
All right, thank you, Cutter. As you can see, we are tracking severe weather as it's happening across our area.
With our first alert weather day, we do have team coverage continuing tonight. Our reporters are standing by across the region, but we want to go back now to our first alert weather team, John Weatherby.
And we'll keep you updated. Take a look at this, Jamie, and see if you can do whatever you got in mind. Go ahead.
All right, so we're watching this on 25, and you see that kind of bow right now, that curvature right here just in the city of Garfield. So right now we're looking at a possible signature, tornado signature. Emanuel County is under the tornado warning, and right now I want to kind of change camera angles here, and we'll go to the Charleston velocity and just look. On Monday, we were looking at the signature, the couplets, to see if we saw any green or any purples, any tight kind of pairing of different colors, you know, that to and away. So maybe this is possible right here. Let me just kind of zoom out and set the stage for the Garfield area of possibly seeing a tornado on the ground. So what I'm looking at right here is radar indicated with that warning. That's why they warned. So right here, just a little dot on the map indicates that a tornado may have touched down just west of the city. And we're also looking, let me zoom out here, to Twin City. You guys were kind of under the gun. This was a very strong storm that was coming out of the Eastman area, well west of the WTOC viewing area. They had a tornado warning earlier on in the day, around 3 o'clock. I think I did a live cut-in, and it held its strength and it continued to move toward the WTOC viewing area. So let me see if I can zoom out here. The zoom out button doesn't seem to be wanting to work here. But there we go. So I just wanted to zoom out real quickly and show, well, now I'm zooming in. This area of pink right here, just west of Garfield. If you know anybody who lives in Garfield, we don't talk about you guys a lot, but you're still a part of the WTOC family, or just west of 121 in Emanuel County, that's a big possibility that you already had a tornado possibly touch down. And that may actually be an area where it crossed over the city. Now look at this, from Twin City to Olivetown to Durnville, right here, and I'm going to zoom in now that I have a better idea of, actually let me zoom in here, a better idea of what I'm looking at, getting the big picture and kind of looking out and then looking in. Right here, this is a possibility of when you get those reds and greens and mixed together. So we'll put the radar back on here, and there was that hook. That hook, we talk about echoes, we talk about hooks, and so we'll look back on the radar and see if that is still there. Yes, right here, from Garfield all the way down to 121, lots of lightning, and so this is continuing down U.S. Highway 80 toward Portal, toward Hope You Like It, seeing showers now, and eventually this will move into the Statesboro area. And that is what they're thinking that may actually happen as far as the warning goes. So this goes for another 20 minutes, and we're still seeing, let me take that out real quickly. Let me take that off for you real quickly. They're still thinking that this has enough oomph to make it all the way to the city, and that's why. That's a great warning, by the way. Great warning from the National Weather Service. Let me just give a shout out to them, because 30 minutes out or 40 minutes out, they warned for the city of Statesboro, and that is a huge lead time, especially when you're talking about a tornado. So right now, still looking at that hook right there, and that is going to continue to bow out as it continues toward the city of Statesboro. So once again, setting the stage, we are still under a tornado warning for portions of Bullitt County and portions of Candler County as well. So right here, and look, Garfield is now out of it, but you are still under that watch, but not a severe thunderstorm watch. So may be safe. It may be safe to go out and investigate if you heard a loud train, if you hear that loud whistle, that thing that you always hear on TV after the fact. If you heard anything, it is safe now, even though it's raining and probably really windy, to probably go out and maybe see if anything did happen in that vicinity. But Portal, Hope You Like It, Cleto, just north of the city, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. But just along the north part of the bypass, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, and the National Weather Service may actually extend that tornado warning into all of the city of Statesboro. All of Bullitt County, so better to register under that severe thunderstorm warning, and just the northern portions of Candler County, right here as you cross in to western Bullock, under that tornado warning. So Rocky Ford, still watch out, and then this may cross over into portions of Scriven County, Sylvania, Newington. That's your first alert. This may continue toward the Savannah River. I'm going to toss it back to the desk real quickly, and if anything else changes, we will update you here right on air and talk more about this tornado warning in effect for portions of Candler and Bullitt counties.
One quick update about some debris on the road.
That's right. We're getting report west of Portal on Highway 80, debris out on the road. Do be careful. If you don't have to be on the road, please don't at this point.
And our Elizabeth Rollins now continuing our team coverage.
Yeah, she's at SEMA headquarters in Savannah on Bowl Street. And Elizabeth, officials plan to be there tracking the storm throughout.
They sure do. They're working very closely with the National Weather Service as well as state and local agencies. They're right behind me. They've been working all afternoon. You can see they're tracking the storm. They're also monitoring our own newscast right now, tracking the storm with our meteorologists. SEMA's Emergency Operations Center is operating at the lowest level, which is level 3. However, officials tell me if there's a tornado that touches down and there's significant damage in a specific area, they will upgrade their operations to a level 2. This means they'll start working closely with Georgia Power, Red Cross, and Public Works.
So that would be the focus for this particular event. If we had any type of tornado touchdown, we'd bring in those resources that could quickly respond to and help mitigate any challenges with that initial response.
And we're going to continue to bring you live updates here from SEMA throughout the night, so stay with us. We're live in downtown Savannah. Elizabeth Rollins, WTOC News.
3 disaster vehicles and 6 volunteers on standby for the American Red Cross of Southeast and Coastal Georgia, ready to go in case disaster hits.
Those volunteers know that they would go out to an assigned area. They would go into that area and report out, and then they would perhaps at that point, then they would get their instructions and then drive into neighborhoods as needed at the time.
And those volunteers could be dispatched anywhere in Georgia. And we do want to show you some of that damage that the storm has already left behind in parts of Georgia. Let's check in with our Wendy Redmond.
Hey there, guys. Actually, new video in from Alabama I want to show you right now, where there is significant damage from the storm. This is Henry County after a possible tornado. You can see what this storm system is really capable of here. Some homes in this area were destroyed. Some structures absolutely torn apart, roofs ripped off. Henry County EMA says best they can count right now, about 20 to 25 homes were damaged, but it could be more because they're having a hard time accessing a lot of these homes because the roads are so dangerous in that area. A lot of downed trees and a lot of downed power lines.
All right, thank you, Wendy. We do want to show you what's happening in the Statesboro area right now. This is a live look. As you can see, you see the lightning. You see the ominous clouds out there as we are looking out at Statesboro. And if you are in that area, Bullock County under a tornado warning right now, seek shelter immediately.
This is the area that John and Jamie have been talking about, that storm was headed in that direction. We're going to continue our team coverage for you right now. We're going to go to Hinesville real quick. Our Sean Evans joining us live after talking to Liberty County's EMA director.
Yeah, guys, the cloud's definitely getting darker to the northwest of downtown Hinesville. That's where I am right now, the EMA office directly over my shoulder here. Right now, emergency management officials are keeping a close eye on the storm as it approaches the region here. Now, schools here dismissed early. Non-essential personnel were let home around 2 o'clock from Fort Stewart today, so it seems no one is taking any chances with the severe weather. Now, here at the Liberty County EMA office, they're in a holding pattern, they say, waiting to see if any of the areas of the county get hit from this storm. Now, right now, some of the main concerns for EMA officials are trees falling down with the strong winds, localized flooding. Another concern is when this storm could hit, which is right around the evening commute and into the evening hours.
Of course, the worst time for bad weather for us is in the dark hours. Why? During the daylight hours, you can see what's going on with the weather. At night, you cannot.
And Director Hodges is encouraging folks here in Liberty County especially to make sure that they have that plan with their family in case of an emergency, where they should go in the house, also have that emergency kit available as well. We'll continue to bring you updates from down here in Liberty County. For now, reporting live in Hinesville, Sean Evans, WTOC News.
Hammered out there, and you've got almost an hour to go until it's finally moving out of your area. I'm going to toss it back to Jody and Mike real quick and kind of get an idea of the overall picture of what we've been looking at and talking about today.
Thank you, Jamie.
All right, well, Hampton County officials preparing for severe weather again after the National Weather Service confirms that a tornado touched down in the county on Monday, just weeks after that microburst caused some damage.
Our Georgia Godfrey spending the day in the county to find out what concerns officials have with this storm system.
This is the area where officials believe that tornado made landfall. Check it out. If you take a look here behind me, you can kind of see where the trees are bent over, creating what seems to be a tunnel, indicating that tornado's possible path.
Monday afternoon, the clouds here just got so black. It was really black. The weather radios were going off.
Those alarms went off because dangerous conditions were approaching the area.
But the wind blew here. I mean, the wind just really, really blew. It was scary. It was really scary for a while. This was classified as an EF0 tornado, which was 80 miles an hour, and it went down for like 100 to 200 yards. Very small tornado, but then that word tornado scares everybody to death.
There were no injuries reported with this storm, but now a second wave of bad weather is expected. Officials explain what they're afraid of and what the county can handle.
Now, the loggers see a lot different when they go into the woods, but there's a lot of dry out there. We can take some water. That won't hurt us. They're talking from 11 tonight till 7 tomorrow morning. We should have severe thunderstorms throughout the night, high winds, and straight line winds. And those straight line winds are as powerful as a tornado at 80 miles an hour. So these are the kind of things that we're afraid of.
Hampton County Emergency Services says their main concern, besides the threat of tornadoes with this storm system, is trees. There are hundreds of them in the county, leaning and resting on other trees from Hurricane Matthew. And the slightest bit of wind or rainfall can cause them to fall down, block our roads, and potentially damage people's homes. In Hampton County, Georgia Godfrey, WTOC News.
Look at that sky cam shot. You want to know what a shelf cloud looks like? There you go. That's the leading edge. Cutter Martin has just come back into the station. Are you mic'd up yet, Cutter?
Yes, I am. And
Come
actually,
over here.
I would like to read some reports, though, from the National Weather Service. It appears
talking about the Tattnall County storm. Earlier, there was a circulation headed towards Reidsville proper, the city limits. They say it looks like that has occluded, which basically means dissolved, sucked back into the storm. Cool air has rushed out ahead of it. Long story short, the tornado threat is lower, but the problem is they say the circulation may be developing a new one, or the storm may be developing a new circulation just south-southeast of the initial one. Now, that was 7 minutes ago, so just south and east of the city of Reidsville in Tattnall County, definitely still detecting rotation, and that storm itself and the rotation both moving off to the north and to the east.
Love this shot, too, from the WTOC Airport Sky Cam. Thank you, Cutter. Lots of information like that. Cutter will get that out on social media. If you missed it, we'll make sure you've got some information as well. Our reporters have been all around town all day as well, covering this weather story, not only from the weather angle, but how it's impacting you and how people are reacting to that. And with all the details on that, our team coverage continues with Mike Sela and Wendy Redmond.
All right, thanks.
Well, the time now at 7:15. Are we all done with a tornado warning?
It has been allowed to expire. Of course, we want folks to know that occasionally, again, these do cycle up across the region. So just because the tornado threat has temporarily settled down, the warning has been allowed to expire. The threat is still present. Also, an update, we do have many reports out of Statesboro, out of Bullock County, of multiple trees down. Redfern Lane, that is just outside of Statesboro. We also do have W.C. Hodges Road, a report of a tree down. And it looks like Maria Sorrell Road and Bell Road, that intersection right there, all of these coming out of the city of Statesboro, the Bullock County region here we do have reports coming of trees down. And again, power outages are likely. So even if you did have severe weather already move through your area, it has calmed down. I certainly do not suggest you get out on the roadways because obviously as we turn radar back on, we are still tracking severe weather across the region. Heavy rain continues even well behind the severe storms that move through your area. So it is dangerous. The sun is now setting, and certainly the roads and the conditions are still treacherous out there. So we have one severe thunderstorm warning in the low country right now. We are quiet. Also looking like, as we just mentioned, the greatest tornado threat, just how the National Weather Service certainly agreeing with us here, is along and southeast of that Highway 84 corridor. So basically from Savannah to Reidsville down to Douglas and points to the south and to the east. Greatest tornado threat has shifted in that direction. So it has been very quiet across those areas south and east of Reidsville, including Glenn County, Brunswick, basically Brantley County into Pierce County, Jessup, Waycross. It's been quiet so far, but that threat continues to increase. And actually another interesting picture here, you're looking live from the Weston there, looking over towards River Street and then across and northwestward across downtown or southwestward. And you can see if we actually take that full, some interesting features here. This is going to be moving into Chatham County here within the next 30 to 45 minutes. Notice how you see that kind of arc shape there, the low clouds very defined there at the base. That is the leading edge of some very, very gusty winds, maybe 40, 50 miles an hour.